Welcome to Healing Outside the Box. My name is Jean Tiberio, and I'm a nutritionist and a wellness coach. This is episode 275, and today I'll be talking about the battle with thinning hair. Now, about 3 months ago, I watched the Oscars and saw Will Smith punch Chris Rock in the face over a joke about his wife's shaved head. Will Smith's wife announced later that she has alopecia or thinning hair, and that's why she was so upset. As I'm sure you've noticed, it has now become a thing with women as well as men. Until that time, I thought that thinning hair could be a major annoyance or embarrassment, but not downright dangerous. Women in particular take their thinning hair very seriously, myself included, and it seems to be an increasingly common problem as we age. Here's what I've been wondering. Is it really worse here in the 21st century? Or are we more self-absorbed in our looks than we have been in the past? If it is worse, why is it worse? And what can we do about it? Now, I looked around on the World Wide Web for an answer to this, and it was pretty unclear. Hormonal changes, autoimmune diseases, thyroid disorders, rapid weight loss, and extreme stress are among the known causes of hair loss in younger men and women. That is on top of genetics. However, poor diet can also influence our hair growth, or lack of it. One could argue that there has been an uptick in a lot of the things I've just mentioned. So the answer might be possibly any of those things, or nothing in particular. But first, let's define what we're talking about. The most common form of baldness is called male pattern baldness, but there's also female pattern baldness. In male pattern baldness, hair first starts to thin out at the temples, making that half-moon shape at the forehead, then at the crown of the head. It's measured on something called a Norwood scale. I'm guessing a guy named Norwood had a problem. Female pattern baldness is also a pattern of hair loss, or alopecia as we're saying, caused by hormones, aging, genetics, etc. But unlike male pattern baldness, the female pattern is an all-over thinning, which maintains the normal hairline. Now, for both men and women, our hair will naturally thin as we get older. Here we are talking about rapid or premature hair loss. If you want to read up on some of this, the Mount Sinai Hospital has a website, which is mountsinai.org. Click diseases, and then conditions. Alopecia can mostly be determined by the genes you get from your parents. Scientists think the gene may affect how sensitive your hair follicles are to a hormone called DHT, or dihydrotestosterone, which makes hair follicles shrink. I'm sure you heard the word testosterone in there, which is the male sex hormone. As the hair follicles shrink, the hair that grows back tends to be finer, thinner, and a bit shorter. The hair follicle gets clogged and eventually no longer grows. All men experience this as part of the aging process, but more and more women seem to be experiencing female pattern baldness at a younger age. This can sometimes occur after a woman gives birth, or sometimes during and after menopause. The obvious conclusion there is that it is also a hormone-related situation. But just like men, hair loss in women can also be caused by trauma, severe weight loss, or physically pulling on the hair, as in a tight bun. And you guys with your male buns get lumped into that category as well. However, you won't lose your hair if you comb it 100 times. And certainly hats and wigs do not cause hair loss. It's the pulling of the hair, not covering it up. So it's not just genetics that determine how fast we lose our hair. Long periods of stress or shorter periods of extreme stress can release signals that shock the hair follicles. This could be rapid weight loss with inadequate nutrition, a death in the family, or an injury with blood loss. Also, it could be a serious infection with high-dose antibiotics, or maybe a very serious virus that doesn't want to go away. Along the same lines, chemotherapy can clearly cause baldness. So we all know chemotherapy results in hair loss, but let's explain why. Tumors result when rapidly growing abnormal cells have no control over their growth. So cancer cells will outgrow normal cells, suck up the available nutrients, and eventually kill off healthy cells. Chemotherapy drugs will kill the growth of new cells and damage tissue that have rapidly replenishing layers of cells. So they are cytotoxic agents, which kill all rapidly growing cells. Like cancer cells, cells at the hair root and rapidly replenishing GI tract lining cells will die off rapidly as well. So the result will be alopecia and GI upset. Doctors can give you meds for the nausea, and now we can give you a cold scalp treatment to reduce the hair loss. That's a hint to suggest that perhaps a final rinse of your hair with cold water might help constrict blood vessels on your scalp. I'm not sure it works, but it can't hurt, especially if you tug on your hair after you get out of the shower. Now, there are different types of alopecia. A dermatologist by the name of Dr. Sharon Wong says alopecia areata is an autoimmune condition where the immune system attacks growing hair follicles. So that's not toxin related. As I've mentioned, other triggers can include things like a serious viral infection or severe trauma, say a car accident where you're injured and bleeding, but not typical daily stress. But let's talk about the causes of hair loss related to food and nutrition. The one that I usually mention is strict dieting, resulting in rapid weight loss. There are a million diets out there, but we are basically talking about restrictive diets that limit the variety of food that you're eating. The paleo diet, or any juice diet, or pineapple diet might be two examples. I'm not a fan of the juice cleanse, by the way. Related to this would be having vitamin deficiencies. One notable vitamin is biotin. Now, biotin, or vitamin B7, is a vitamin that's involved with skin and hair growth. Skin cells also replenish themselves fairly rapidly. Now, vitamin salespeople will tell you that you need vitamin B7 or biotin to grow thicker hair. But the truth is that you will only see a difference if you are already deficient in biotin, which is really the case. That is, if you're not on a forever juice cleanse. Taking any restrictive dietary practices to an extreme might put you at risk for many B vitamin deficiencies, especially B6 and 12. Another extreme example would be young women who suffer from anorexia nervosa. These women are basically starving themselves. In the past, I have seen thinning hair on teenagers who are anorexic. Ironically, they grow fine wispy hair on their forearm when they become emaciated. Scientists believe this may be an attempt for the starving body to keep itself warm. I was talking to a woman once on the psych ward, and she turned around, pointed to a woman with anorexia, and said, "I want the diet that she's on." And I said to her, "Trust me, you do not want to be her." And the woman kept saying, I think I do. But trust me, those women with anorexia are suffering. Now, if you want to take a multivitamin to ensure that you get plenty of biotin, that's fine. I would recommend a good quality multivitamin with the B complex as well. That way you will get all of the B vitamins in ratios that are healthy for your body to absorb. For example, B6 and B12 interact with each other, and it's best to take them together. Also, there are 4 B vitamins necessary for just one biochemical reaction when you're turning glucose into energy. You have to have all 4 vitamins for that one biochemical reaction. So it's a good idea to take them all together in doses recommended by the FDA. Other nutrition-related causes of hair loss include an abnormal thyroid, anemia, surgery with blood loss, toxic doses of vitamin A, and a few blood pressure or gout medications. I strongly recommend that you speak to your dermatologist or other health professional about these medical issues. Now, I've been mentioning the word toxic or toxin a few times. Here's where I'm going to stray off the ranch and give you my opinion on something. I have a gut feeling that there may be a chemical in our food supply that is toxic to our hair follicles, and I've got a theory about why. But I have no proof, and there doesn't seem to be evidence in the literature relating it to hair loss. So I'll leave it there. In general, eating a healthy variety of foods and staying to organic as much as your budget will allow is always a good bet. Okay, so we know what triggers thinning hair. Sort of. But can we prevent thinning hair by doing the opposite of what triggers it? Well, yes and no. We can't do much about our genetics. That might change in the future, but right now the answer is no. We can take hormones and change things that way. We can stop taking anabolic steroids if we are athletes looking for an edge. After all, Winstrol is essentially synthetic testosterone, which causes male pattern baldness. And that is a documented side effect. In addition, we could get frequent checks for possible thyroid problems or anemia, if that's something you might be concerned about. And of course, we could manage stress by relaxation techniques. Maybe something like a daily meditation habit is always a good idea. As for nutrition, you may want to avoid drastic weight loss diets, juice cleanses, or supplement programs that promise rapid weight loss. A variety of healthy foods that include lots of antioxidants is always a good bet. Dr. Michael Greger has a 6-minute video on foods for hair growth that is worth looking into. I will put it in the show notes. The literature he cites mentions that the Mediterranean diet and soy products are a good idea for the health of our hair, scalp, and skin, as well as the rest of us. The Mediterranean diet has been getting first prize as the best overall dietary regimen for several years now. No surprise, since it is high in omega-3 fatty acids, healthy plant foods, and low in saturated fats and sugar. And if you, as Michael Pollan might say, choose plant foods that are closer to their original form and without herbicides, pesticides, and preservatives, even better. But in this video, Dr. Greger also mentions pumpkin seeds. Let's take a look at pumpkin seeds. Overall, the nutritional quality of the pumpkin seed is quite high. They are underrated for sure. I believe that may be because they are considered a snack food. But in my opinion, that is perhaps why we should have them around in our kitchen. Pumpkin seeds were studied by themselves and found to show visibly improved regrowth of hair in both men and women. Pumpkin seeds are also rich in biotin, or vitamin B7. Biotin increases the keratin levels in the hair strands, making them a little stronger. Pumpkin seed oil contains omega-3 fatty acids, such as oleic and linoleic, which are essential fatty acids. By the way, that just means we need to get them from food, because our bodies cannot make them. Pumpkin seed oil has also been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects. And whatever it is you're trying to prevent, inflammation is not a good thing. Now, pumpkin seeds also contain a substance called cucurbitacin. I hope I'm saying that right. And that is associated with hair growth. These seeds also contain ample amounts of magnesium, copper, and zinc. These are micronutrients which help improve the texture of hair, which would presumably keep them from breaking. Another study applied pumpkin seed oil to the scalp directly, and it showed that it can aid in hair regrowth after hair has been lost. There are also other reasons to choose pumpkin seeds for your snack. Pumpkin seed oil is specifically rich in vitamin E, a potent antioxidant, as well as the omega-3 fatty acids, as I've mentioned. These, along with lots of fiber in the seeds, are heart-healthy nutrients. In fact, the American Heart Association weighs in and recommends having a quarter cup or about an ounce of pumpkin seeds a day as part of a heart-healthy diet, as they like to say. In another study, rats with high blood sugar levels, I don't know where they found them, were given pumpkin seeds, and their blood sugar levels decreased. There weren't as many peaks, I believe. The fiber in the seeds might be that additional factor affecting the blood sugars, but it's win-win anyway. Now, in the future, plugging up those bald spots may be a job for stem cells. But right now, the future is here, and it's roasted pumpkin seeds. That's all I have for you today. Be well, and stay tuned next week for another episode of Healing Outside the Box.